All right. Well, thanks for
Fantastic.
everybody that did
Oh,
make it.
okay. So once again, I mean, this will be brief. I can tell you a little bit about guarantee and a little bit about how the AI agent can process and work. Welcome everybody to the call today. And my name is Oscar Vasquez. I am the founder of Dynamic AI Connections, which is powered. We are powered, or we work with Roundup Rodeo Capital, which is the landing page that all of you have been visiting and going to. We specialize in setting qualified appointments, cold calling and setting qualified appointments, or finding and sifting and sorting your database. In order to do that at the highest level possible, we use that through artificial intelligence, human-like conversations through artificial intelligence. In order for those people to show up, in order for those people to show up and be qualified, we have a human-like conversation. Today, we will pick one lucky person if you so choose to. You could raise your hand and we'll let you have a conversation with the AI in the group so you can identify if this is something that you would like to work with. Um, we'll, okay, this call, sorry, this is my wife blowing me up. Telling her,
We
go
kind of
ahead.
have a smaller group tonight, Oscar. This is the passcode issue. Again, apologies in advance for or um in history now. Um, who here is doing lead generation the old-fashioned way? Who's picking up the phone? Who's still doing cold calling? Who's beating the bush that way for leads? Jen's doing it. Yeah, that's. How about you, Stacy? How you getting leads? Same. Yeah. And Heather, are you able to unmute?
Yeah, I can unmute.
How are you doing lead generation currently?
I'm currently doing cold calling with a team.
Cold calling with a team. Okay. How big of a team do you have?
We have 4 acquisition managers.
Awesome, awesome. So hey Richard, how you doing? So how many calls are you making on a day or a week? What's your KPI look like?
Uh, on average about 200 calls, but not all of them connect, and that's per acquisition manager.
Right. Okay. So the goal is 200 calls. The question is how many connections can we make, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How many connections are you making on an 8 hour day? I'm estimating that you guys are doing about 15 to 20 contacts per hour.
Yeah, we need to get more dialed in on our KPIs. It's kind of hard because everyone's using their own cell phones to call.
Oh,
So just like relying on feedback within the system that I'm using.
uh, okay. Well, the two things is that we can help with the system that we have. It'll definitely be able to do hot transfers. So what I mean by that is we can set up for example, if you're doing it, we can do what's called a round robin team transfer, where we started to do this with a timeshare company where we would send out calls and they would start to transfer, they would ask a pre-qualification and then they would get transferred to a agent to be able to close them for an appointment. But just to I'm just saying how this could help you, this system using artificial intelligence, how it can help you. It'll prevent your dial, it'll increase your talk time with your agents. If you just do a qualification, for example, they're using, hey, do you do vacations? And would you qualify for a free 4 night or 3 night stay, 3 days, 2 night stay in Cancun, would you like to go? And we'll give that to you. And they say yes, then they do a hot transfer. I think if you wanted to work together, we can do a script and even do a test for you on your team so we can see how well that can do a transfer for you. just to give you an idea, right, of what the capabilities of the AI agent has. One AI agent can do up to 100 calls simultaneously. We're just coming out with a feature that is specific for cold calling. And if it only does cold calling, there's only a one-time fee to set it up. You get a priority server, which means you don't have any delays, and you can put a budget of how many calls you want to make on that daily basis for that budget. For example, if you wanted $20, it'll give you about 160 calls. $20 will give you about 160 calls. So 160 conversations, not because you only pay per conversation, you don't pay per dial, or you don't pay per dial, and you don't pay per you don't pay per dial, you don't pay for wait time, you only pay per conversation with our artificial intelligence. Now, if you guys would like, I can go into a little bit more about how the system works. And basically, like I was saying, it's human-like conversational AI. So when you have a human-like conversation with a robot, we don't call them robots because it's artificial intelligence. A robot can only go right, left, forward, backwards in the conversation. However, an artificial intelligence can run circles around the conversation. What that means is that that conversation could be built upon you could talk about the weather, you could talk about, selling the house, you could talk about real estate, what interest rates are doing. You can actually have a conversation about multiple things, but at the end of the day, it'll still stick to the process or stick to the call, which is the goal for the call would be to set an appointment and see if they're interested. We always found that it's more cost effective if you teach the AI agent to make the phone call, ask the qualifying question, and then move on. If they have a qualifying question, then they would move on with that question, and then they would move on with the script. If they don't, then we would ask the AI agent to hang up and then move on to the next question. When we do that, that does two things for you. One, it sifts and sorts your list as soon as possible, because cold calling all has to do with the numbers. It has to be with your KPIs, and it has to be the number of conversations. First, you have to look at your dials. Two, you have to have the conversation. And three, how many people are interested, and then how many appointments, right? They may be interested, but they may not be ready to set an appointment. But that's still a good indicator that the list is good and they're still going with it. Now, our artificial intelligence agent can do up to 100 calls simultaneously. We have not had anybody let me shut that door because I can hear myself in the background.
All depends on what the voices are telling you back there.
Yeah, no, it is right here. So the artificial intelligence and it comes with the software. So the software has a conversation that can do it. We train them to do whatever. We can say whatever you want on there. If you're cold calling, we found it to cold calling is a numbers game, and you can do a lot of numbers. You can call a lot of people and have a conversation to find somebody really quick. However, it's expensive to have a lot of conversations. And what I mean by that is we always tell people that want to start off with cold calling, we always say, look, if you want to cold call, how many conversations do you normally have using your script to be able to get one person of interest? Now, in real estate, retail real estate, the numbers are 200. Well, now there's 325 conversations to one person that wants to sell within 6 months, or that's moving. 325 to 1. That means you got to have 325 conversations. And I say that, but you got to remember those numbers are people in California, But right now, if you buy a house in California, in Southern California, your house payment is $7,000 a month. So, and the average person's house payment is $2,600. They're not moving. They're
Yeah.
not gonna move. They would be crazy. They could rent their house, make a profit, and move somewhere else and probably rent it for less than what that's worth on a monthly payment, because their interest rate is so low and they're that. Now, as far as cold calling is concerned, what we found and what we put together, let me share, Shane, because I want to share a website presentation so I can give everybody an idea of the sorry, here, can we see share? So what we did is we came out with a presentation that can give somebody a guarantee. Oh, am I not sharing?
You
Can you
sharing?
see the
Yep,
screen?
we see it.
So here's what we did is we took a system that we called it one-click ads. One-click ads, and this gave us a guarantee. The reason why we gave it a guarantee is because the cost to use the AI agent is less, because the people already rose their hand. So in this market, what we've done, that people that are using the Facebook ads to AI agent, we've produced now on the AI agents that we've produced. The AI agent will save you time, it'll save you money, it'll help you become, this is more for real estate agents, but our system is designed for you to can generate leads, and you can upload the leads. And then the system will give you an AI assistant, we'll call it SMS and email it all in one platform. Now we use Facebook. The reason why we use Facebook, because those people have an intent. They have an intent because they filled out a form and they want to sell their house. Now your category would be here, which is we buy houses for cash, any house, any condition, any situation, and they run those. Right now, the people that are running those ads on Facebook are getting anywhere from $9 to $25 leads that people want to sell their house. Now, I haven't tracked on where they're at. I can only look at, because they tell me, hey, what's your cost per lead? Share it. We're going to end up creating a Facebook group that we're going to be able to share these concepts with and be able to make that work. So when you do that, then the AI agent's going to call that lead until the AI agent's we're going to text it and call it until they can book an appointment. Once they do that, then we're going to have that's one way on how you can generate leads. The second way is you upload a list, and then we can cold call them for you. If you cold call them, what's going to happen? We have a done for you qualification, appointment booking, and lead nurturing. All the lead sources go into the AI agent. The AI agent's going to want to book a call on your calendar with these leads and these people of interest. If they want to talk to you, if they don't, then they're going to go into a nurture, and then they're going to keep calling. They're going to keep going into this phase, all the circle, until they show up. Once they show up, they'll become a client. How we approach them is we use artificial intelligence, SMS, and email campaign. We also use, and this is some of the samples, and I'll send you guys a sample. I'll post this on there. We just started to create this chat, and I will put that on there.
Are you sure you went on vacation? I think
What?
you stayed and worked, I think.
Yeah, I was working. Appreciate that. So then what we want within 30 to 45 days, we want you to receive you get the lifetime access to the AI agent, and your calendar. We'll start booking your calendar according to how much your ad spend. Now we have a guarantee. If you spend I think it's $30 a day, or $10 to $30 a day, you'll get at least 1 to 2 leads every day. the AI agent will start to call them. You got to remember, if you only got one person to call, it's going to call it one time every day, 2 times a day. Sorry, it's going to call it between 8 a.m. and 12, and then at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. and between 5 and 7. Then we can have it, then it'll have it and book your calendar so you can be able to do that. The more ad spend you have, the more leads you're going to get, the more people raise their hand that want to sell their house for cash. Ads and
Oscar, that's a pretty good system then. If you have a team like Heather does, now instead of all these people cold calling, her team is now, their calendars are set up in a round robin fashion, right? So the lead comes in. Now her cold callers are getting warm, qualified leads for them to go close. Much
that is
better use of their
correct.
time.
Now, we've done this for a solar company where they're running ads and they're doing the whole state of Nevada. And their cost, because they're doing the whole state, the cost per lead is much less. The guy the guy that I spoke on 2 weeks ago, before I left, his cost per lead went down. He started to go nationwide and he's at $6 a lead. But he's getting people from, all places from the United States. He's getting them from Maine, from Florida, from Montana. He's getting land deals. I mean, he's starting to get more of it on there. Now you can do that. However, it's up to you on what your business looks like. I can tell you the Facebook leads work, and we have a one-click ads. You run them on your system. We have an API. It's one click, runs the ad, and it works for you. It does your pipeline. Your pipeline, it tells you where you're at on the nature. Let me zoom in here. Much better. It kind of zooms in on that pipeline to be able to do that. And then you have those qualifying questions. We can add and update qualifying questions on what you want to qualify, how you want to qualify them, to be able to substantiate their qualification. Do they qualify or do they not qualify? Is going to be to the questions that you want. Like, I'll give you an example. We service a lot of real estate agents. If they want to sell within 6 months, they want to be in contact. If they want to sell within a year, they really don't want to talk to them. They just put them into a nurture, email, and text message them. But your qualifications, when you built the AI agent, it'll be built to your qualifications. Analyze AI and systematic notes. Every conversation, you're going to have a AI agent transcribed conversation, and you're going to have a recording, or you could do a live transfer if you wanted to. You could do a voicemail live transfer if you wanted to. You could do whichever you would like for yourself. Now, that's what I was trying to tell Heather. We can do live transfers all day long and have them just talk to people that have interest in selling. That can happen. Going on support. Now we have a support system that is all figured out and it's all there. We have 5 layers of support. We have one-on-one video onboarding. We have phone, SMS, ticketing, and chat support. We have a private portal where you can sign on, which is called Slack. And we do video walkthroughs and tutorials. We have hundreds. We're adding 2 to 3 every day tutorials on our group. Now, here's how simple it is. You can come in to our system, you click down here, and it goes into our support. You can go in and say, get help, get started. It talks about calendars, getting started, where are you? Or if you want to just talk to somebody, just chat with an agent, and they should pop up and say, hey, I need help. How do I set up a web page? See what they say and see how long it says waiting for agent to connect. We'll go on here. Full
I
access.
used that last Saturday, right? So
And how was that?
weekends that chat works, that live chat, they do respond, they do answer.
And did they help you with your situation?
Absolutely, yeah. So again, they're just one of those things where I kind of remembered how to do it, but I didn't remember how to do it. So
Right.
rather than create trouble, I just hit the live chat. So
Cool.
it's
And
perfect.
we're coming out with building out courses. Right now we're building out an SMS for being able to cold call or text message real estate agents. That we're going to be able to add into the system here shortly for all the new early adopters. The AI system, and you don't have to pay any monthly retainers to people to run your Facebook ads. Most people pay $700 to $1,000 a month to run Facebook ads. That's not going to be the case at this point. We are not going to go down. You don't have to, because we guarantee the results or you don't pay. Here's one thing that we guarantee. We guarantee by the third month, if you're using Facebook ads, the reason what we're telling you, you got to get at least 28 Facebook leads a month in order to get our guarantee. The reason why we say that, because we know even if in wholesale or real estate, you're going to get anywhere from 3 to 5% conversion rate, which is today business. Today business means if they raise their hand, we haven't tracked the KPIs for investors. We don't have that many investors using the system. We just started rolling this out to investors this last month, and I think we probably have 10 or 15 investors combined. You're going to be able to have that, so where you're going to be able to use this investment profile or this investment to be able to get your money back within 3 months. You should be able to get your entire money back within 3 months and close one transaction, and be able to close anywhere from 1 to 3 transactions, but within 12 months, because you're building up the pipeline of people that want to sell, right? And the AI is doing the nurturing and it's doing the calling. Our guarantee is simple. You get one closing or your money back, or you get one closing, get a closing or your money back plus $1,500. That's a guarantee. I'm not in the business. It'll put us out of business if we didn't put this guarantee on here. But in order to do the guarantee, you got to do the Facebook ads, because we know that the Facebook ads and get 28 leads, and you need to spend anywhere from $20 to $30 a day in order to get.
How are we going to track that KPI? How do we keep track of how many leads we're generating through Facebook?
In the system, it'll tell you how many leads come in from Facebook, because they automatically get in there. The AI automatically calls them. The AI automatically sets them up, and they automatically set the appointment. It'll even say if you didn't show up to the appointment, right?
So I always like a little friendly competition, Oscar. So how do we get the people from our community who are signing on to this in a little group and kind of show off our numbers to each other and say, hey, how many calls did you make today, Cindy? My system made, 17 calls today, or made 17 connections, got 17 leads.
Yeah,
I
think if you do it that way, he who has more calls, is all you got to do is spend more money to make calls. Have more conversations. I was doing the math for a guy just a little bit ago. He goes, well, I'm paying somebody, guys, $5 an hour. And he says, okay, I'm talking to 15 people. They're talking to 15 people an hour. And I said, well, how long is the average conversation? 15 seconds. I said, okay, 15 times 15 equals 7.5 minutes. So out of an hour, they're working 7 minutes, and the other hour they're spending on hold or dialing. They're on hold or dialing. At 12 cents a minute, if they only talk to 15 people an hour, they're only spending at that. So let's do that math. I guess I maybe just told them that. So they're operating at an 11% efficiency. With this, they'll be operating at 100% efficiency, but the cost, and let's just say it's 15 seconds. Oh, I'm sorry, so it'd be 7 times 7.5 minutes. They're spending 90 cents an hour per hour because you only get charged for talk time. So they're not gonna get the additional expense. And so this is what makes it, this is how most people don't realize that the AI agent, you only get charged for the talk time. You don't get charged for the non-talk time. You get charged only for when it talks to people. So, and what I mean when I was talking about it being expensive, like some guys want to say, I want to talk to 100 people simultaneously. Watch, simultaneously, if you talk to 100 people simultaneously, so you're gonna do 100 times, let's just call it 12 cents. That equals, and the conversation is a minute, right? That becomes $12 a minute, right? But you're having 100 conversations. That's what I mean, that it can become expensive if one, you don't have the right list, two, they're not confirmed homeowners, and three, I mean, look, if they're behind on their house, they have to sell it, then that conversation, even if it's 10 minutes, it's gonna be a better conversation. What happens is when you call everybody in the neighborhood and you're talking to people like, for example, in California, people that have a $2,800 house payment, if they move, they have to move outside of California in order to maybe, yes, in order to be able to have a lower house payment or a bigger house. That's why the contact rate is so high, because they're like, where am I gonna move? I'm not gonna get a better house payment. I'm not gonna go pay 2 times more mortgage for a 500 square foot house, right? You're better off putting it on credit cards and getting an ADU put in the backyard. So that's where that income comes in, or that's where the analysis of the AI agent comes into play. And when I always say it's not expensive at 12 cents a minute, if you put $25 a day or $30 a day to be able to do cold calling, is that worth it? I don't know. I mean, it all depends on the list, and it all depends, but it can be expensive. Now, if you did it on Facebook and you got 100 leads, and those 100 leads cost you, let's just call it $10 a lead, that equals $1,000, but that $1,000 got you one wholesale lead, just say one, right? That's a $10,000 transaction. That's a 10 to 1 that's a 10 to 1 ROI. Now, I'm just saying, because I don't know, because I'm not in the wholesale business, I don't know how many people you have to talk to. I don't know those numbers, but we're keeping track of them. But is that,
Hey, Ask, we have a quick comment here in the chat. Is Sherry still here? Or did we lose her? She was on here and said she was lost. And maybe not. Maybe she dropped off. All right. Sorry to mess with the flow.
oh, sorry, okay, sorry, I'm lost. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I didn't catch that in time. I think we lost her, but I'll reach out to Sherry.
Okay, well, I didn't even catch that, sorry.
I didn't either, so apologize.
Um,
So
The ad spend is not $500 a month. The ad spend, and the ad spend is whatever you want it to be, whatever. If you do nationwide leads, then it'll be less expensive for you, because the leads are less expensive, because the higher, the bigger the radius that you cover, Facebook puts you into front of more people. And the cost is different. So the cost is not as expensive. If you go closer and you go closer in, then the cost is more expensive.
so the more targeted your advertising, the more expensive it is.
Correct. Okay, still here. Okay, great, Sherry. Let me answer your question here. So let me see if I got you correctly. Ads are $500 per month. No, the ads, Facebook ads, you can put it on, it depends on where you go. Now, Facebook ads are per day, spend. Now, we don't charge anything extra for Facebook ads. We run the ads for you. We use the system and we use it what's called one-click ads. We use the one-click ads and you can put the budget to whatever you want. So if you were to spend $500 per month and your on ad spend and your cost per lead was $10, you would have 50 people that raised their hand and said, I want to sell my house for cash. Let's just say, what does that mean? Here is the ad that we would run, right? For you guys. This motivated seller ad right here. We buy houses for fast and for cash. Any house, any condition, any situation. Click learn more, right? So when we do that ad, then if you get 50, you're going to get 50 leads. You're going to get 50 people that raise their hand, people. That raise their hand. Now, I don't know what the conversion rate is. I can tell you in real estate, it's 3 to 5%. We haven't tracked the numbers for the fourth quarter yet to see what everybody else is getting on Facebook ads. But one thing we do know is that you're continuously filling up your pipeline with people and conversations that you're having. That is a continuous thing that happens every single day because you're consistently feeding the AI system. If you consistently feed the AI CRM and you consistently texting, you're consistently having conversation, you're going to consistently have appointments. Guess what? You're going to have consistent closings. Consistent closings can be done along the way with the AI system, and that's why we have the guarantee. We only do the guarantee because we know for a fact that when you run ads, people raise their hand and they have to fill in a form, and then they have to fill in their information, and then they get a call back. Will you get bad numbers? You probably will. You probably will. Remember, 95% of them, if 95% of them didn't, and you spent $1,000 and got 10 transactions, is that worth it? So I always tell people, there's one question about how much are you willing to spend for one deal? That's the question that everybody should ask. How much are you willing to spend for one deal? That's the number. And whatever that number is, the quickest, fastest, easiest way to get there is Facebook ads, and cold calling. Now, cold calling has a risk, and we're saying this to be truthful, right? To tell you the truth. The risk that it has is that the list needs to be good. What does that mean? List needs to be good. They need to be people that are distressed owners, people that are in notice of default, people that are behind in their taxes, people that don't want their property. The property's been vacant. They live out of state. I don't know. I mean, I wish I'm educating myself more and more on that process, but I would definitely be in there to do that, to be able to make that happen for you guys, to be able to give you a better flow. Sherry, does this give
Give you
you
an idea, Oscar. I was sitting on a team of wholesalers the other day, and we were talking about this very topic. And for cold calling, their cost per closed deal averaged $4,812.
That's how many calls though?
Let's see. For 2 targeted closed deals, they were making 20,000 records is what they had to pull in a month. So then they're skip tracing that, cold calling it.
So you figure the records are $2,000
Mm-hmm.
and then $2,000 for the skip tracing.
Yep.
4,000. What about the cold calling? Did they not cold call them?
Yeah, they have 4 agents. So these are
That's just for
based
the
out of the
records.
Philippines.
That's not even including cold
Yeah.
calling.
So they paid $9 an hour for their agents. And the hope was out of that to get 150 warm leads, 7 a day out of that. To close 2 deals a month. So, and those are when you get in the big wholesaling business, it's a numbers game, like you said. But there's ways now to be much more efficient at it than that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, at this cost, at this cost, at this cost, 4,000, just call it $4,000. Do the math on that. Let's just for a conversation's sake, let's say you take $4,000 and let's just say the average conversation, let's just say let's say you talk to 20,000 people, and 20,000 people times, let's just say you have a conversation with 20,000 people, and let's say each one is, let's call it 3 minutes of conversation, right?
Yep.
So so that's 36 cents. That's $7,200 if you did cold calling to these people. But I don't think this $4,000. I think this $4,000 is only the data.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's just the data.
Because if you talk to 20,000 people at 36 cents per conversation, now no human,
Good.
right? Well, think about that. Even if you have 15 contacts per hour, we're going deep here, right?
Right.
15 contacts per hour, 15 divided, okay, let's just say 20,000 divided by 15 contacts per hour, you need 1,333 hours. Okay? If you make 15 contacts per hour and you talk to every single one of them, and let's say you get people in the Philippines at $5 per hour, okay? 1,333 times $5 per hour, that's $6,000. If they had 15,000 conversations. Now, if you did it through the AI, 0.36 times 20,000 contacts, 7,200. So AI equals 7,200. So these guys are probably making, and so this right here, just for the data, 6,650 plus 4, that's gonna be equals 10,6.
Yeah. And like I said, those guys that are doing those kind of numbers, we're still having a return on investment of well over 400%. That's why they do it. They're spending big dollars to get those leads closed, but they can close 2 deals a month. It's all worth it. But it's a constant battle, right? Because they're always pouring out money for this team and all these systems and support to get that money back. And it's a wholesaling life sometimes can be rough in that sense. This AI automation, especially with the one-click ads, makes the whole thing simplified.
Well, and it guarantees that people are already raising their hand. I already want to sell my house for cash. Can you call me? Right? I'm just saying that that's just, and you're not paying or $500 please daily calls or $500. I mean, this is the numbers. This is where it's at. I like to open it up for questions, and then I'll go over pricing, and then we'll go over where we're at. So any questions that I may answer at this time?
Just raise your hand or drop it in the chat.
Yeah, and
Just so
we'll
I can see
knock
ya.
out one at a time.
Jen, you have a question? You been with us? Yes. Okay, okay. Richard Brown, are you on?
Okay, what about, okay, let me ask this, does anybody want to volunteer and do a role play with the AI agent?
Richard has before. Not that we'll ever exclude him because he's an awesome guy. And anybody else? Jen, you got your camera on, yeah? Okay.
You'll do it? Okay, put your phone number on there, I'll send it to you. Make sure that the updates are all connected. They were adding more voices on there. Jen, we want to put your phone number in here, or do you want to private message me on there? Post your phone number. Okay.
Did they get the Spanish speaking AI voice work yet?
They tried to update it, but it was speaking English. So it was funny. Okay, Jen, I don't, you want to post, somebody want to, no number? Okay. All right, if you want, what I'll do is I'll have it call me. And then everybody can hear it.
Launch it. You're driving the bus.
Hi, am I speaking with Jen?
No, this is not Jen. She decided not to take your call. This is Oscar.
Hi, Oscar. My apologies for the confusion. This is Alexander from Dynamic AI Connections. The reason for my call is that Jen requested a call for me to interview with her for the job of filling her calendar with qualified appointments. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that, but let me ask you this. I'm in the wholesale real estate business. What do you guys know about that business?
Oh, great. You're in the wholesale real estate business. We have extensive knowledge and experience in the real estate industry, including wholesale real estate. Our AI agents are trained to handle cold calling and lead follow-up specifically for real estate professionals like yourself. We can help you generate qualified appointments and boost your sales. How does that sound?
That sounds good, but what do you know about the wholesale real estate business? I mean, how many calls do I have to make to get one deal?
In the wholesale real estate business, the number of calls required to secure a deal can vary depending on various factors, such as the quality of leads, market conditions, and your negotiation skills. However, with our AI agents, we can efficiently handle hundreds of calls simultaneously, increasing your chances of finding potential deals. Our goal is to help you generate qualified appointments so you can focus on closing deals and growing your business. Would you like me to help you book an appointment with our account manager so you can get more information?
Yeah, well, I want you to explain a couple things to me. Can you explain can you explain to me,
Certainly, Oscar.
yeah, can you explain to me what subject to means?
Certainly, Oscar. Certainly, Oscar. I'd be happy to explain any subject related to our services and how we can help. your
No,
wholesale
can you
real estate
explain,
business.
in the wholesale business, can you explain what subject to means?
Certainly, Oscar. Subject to is a term commonly used in the wholesale real estate business. It refers to a type of real estate transaction where the buyer takes over the existing mortgage or financing on a property subject to the terms and conditions of the original loan. Essentially, the buyer agrees to make the mortgage payments on behalf of the seller, while the seller transfers the ownership of the property to the buyer. This can be a beneficial strategy for investors looking to acquire properties with existing financing in place. Does that clarify the concept of subject to for you?
It does. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a poll and see if anybody has any questions they want to ask you. Give me 1 second.
Of course,
Anybody
take
have
your
a question?
feel free to attend to your call. Just let me know if you have any further questions or if there's anything else I can assist you with.
Can you tell me the difference between an interest rate and an APR?
Certainly, Oscar. The interest rate and APR, annual percentage rate, are both related to the cost of borrowing money, but they represent different aspects. The interest rate is the percentage charged by a lender on the principal amount borrowed. It determines the cost of borrowing and is typically expressed as an annual percentage. On the other hand, the APR includes not only the interest rate, but also any additional fees or costs associated with the loan, such as origination fees, closing costs, or discount points. The APR provides a more comprehensive picture of the total cost of borrowing, as it takes into account both the interest rate and these additional charges. In summary, the interest rate represents the cost of borrowing, while the APR reflects the total cost of borrowing, including fees and charges. It's important to consider both when evaluating loan options. Does that clarify the difference between interest rate and APR for you?
Yeah, can you tell me why anybody would want to invest in hard money or lend on hard money?
Certainly, Oscar. There are several reasons why individuals or investors may choose to invest in or lend on hard money. Hard money refers to loans that are backed by real estate collateral, typically with a higher interest rate and shorter repayment terms compared to traditional bank loans. Here are a few reasons why people may opt for hard money investments. 1, speed. Hard money loans can be processed and funded quickly, allowing investors to take advantage of time-sensitive opportunities in the real estate market. 2, flexibility. Hard money lenders may be more flexible in their lending criteria compared to traditional banks, making it easier for borrowers with less than perfect credit or unique property situations to secure financing. 3, real estate investment. Hard money loans are commonly used by real estate investors for property acquisitions, renovations, or fix and flip projects. These loans provide the necessary funds to purchase and improve properties for potential profit. 4, short-term financing. Hard money loans are typically short-term, ranging from a few months to a few years. This can be beneficial for investors who plan to sell the property quickly or refinance with a traditional loan once the property is improved. 5, access to capital. Hard money loans can provide access to capital when traditional financing options may not be available or take long to secure. That provides an insight into why people may choose to
Yeah, let
invest
me
in
ask you
hard
this.
money.
What kind of ice cream do you like?
As an AI, I don't have personal preferences or the ability to taste, so I don't have a favorite ice cream flavor. However, I've heard that many people enjoy classic flavors like chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. Is there a particular ice cream flavor you enjoy, Oscar?
No, you know what? I don't like ice cream. I love it. But what about books? Can you tell me what about books? Books on real estate investing. Can you tell me anything about that?
Absolutely, Oscar. There are numerous books available on real estate investing that can provide valuable insights and knowledge. Here are a few popular ones. 1, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor by Gary Keller. This book offers a comprehensive guide to building wealth through real estate investing, covering strategies, mindset, and practical tips. 2, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. While not solely focused on real estate, this
All
book
right.
emphasizes
I
the
got
importance
it.
of
I
investing
got
in
it.
assets.
You're very versatile. Thank you very much. There you go.
Yeah. It's
I
quite
can't,
amazing.
you can't throw it off. You can't throw, I mean, you could ask it. That's a versatile agent. That's a human being, right? But the human being on steroids, that's probably pretty smart.
Yeah, you have quite an amazing. It can't get hung up. It can't, you can't make it mad. You can't. It just bring you back to the script and set the appointment. That's what it's designed to do.
yeah.
Helpful, but still it stays on path. So
Hey, Shane,
yes,
Jen
hey,
here.
Jen.
It's Jen here who
Hi,
finally got my
Finally,
phone to work.
yeah, yay.
So who trains her? I mean,
We do. We train her for you. And
okay.
you have a conversation. So you say, this is what I want her to say, or what this is my objective. And then give me some frequently asked questions. And then based off of the frequently asked questions, we then train her and then get her on the phone call.
Got
And
it.
what helps is, Jen, if this is your system and that just made a phone call,
Mhm.
and the back side of this, you can go in and all the calls are recorded. Like that phone call that Oscar just had would be available to you already. And not only do you have the audible, but you actually have a text version of that conversation all written out. So I always encourage you, especially when starting out, is to take time and listen to those calls. And there'll be some parts of that conversation where you go, "Ooh, I didn't like that flow, or I didn't like the way it answered a certain question, or there's too much of a pause." There's a way for you to, in that audio file, you just flag like from 32 seconds to 45 seconds, there was a pause. I didn't like it. You flag that and you make a comment, and the programmers on the backside will get that information and they can fine tune that the AI mumbo jumbo that they do, the magic that works back there. So the more you pay attention to the conversations and give them feedback, the faster they can make the changes and the whole thing works better. In the time that we've known Oscar now, the system's been fine-tuned and fine-tuned. It's working better and better. The more calls you make with it, the more feedback you give, the better it gets.
It becomes the new virtual assistant of the future, where you'll never need another virtual assistant ever again.
Lost your volume there a little bit, Oscar.
Oh,
There you
can
go.
you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, I said that once you become the, it's the last virtual assistant you'll ever need. Because it'll really get that, system dialed in, and it'll have conversations about anything. I mean, we've got it from taking intake forms from attorneys to selling, doing transfers to, doing transfers to, to timeshare companies. We've gotten it to, you name it. I mean, there hasn't been something we haven't been able to accomplish, and it's just amazing. You can see how versatile, and look at how she said, I don't have the flavor. I don't know about ice cream. I can't taste ice cream. However, I've heard chocolate ice cream, chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry are our favorites.
So is that something you taught her to say?
No, I did not.
Okay.
She learned how to say that from different conversations. Like, I had somebody ask it, well, can you build rapport? And then she said, yeah. And he goes, I don't really believe you. Can you give me an example? And then, it started going into how do you build rapport? And then that same lady asked her, do you read books? And they said, no, you know what? I don't read books. What kind of books do you like? And then it says, and then she said, well, I like marketing books. And he goes, well, I don't have personal experiences, but here are 4 books that I would tell you. And let me tell you about these books. And then it went in to describe a dog. And it was like, wow. To me, when the first time I heard that, I was like, that's amazing. That they can go into that depth into it. Anyways, any other questions, guys?
So
Okay.
Oscar, besides the one-click ads, we kind of talked about, you could put together maybe a deal for buying in bulk leads. Do we still have something?
Yeah, we do. We still have those. Those are confirmed homeowners. We get a minimum of 10,000 of them, in whatever state that you would like, but it's a minimum of 10,000 leads with names, addresses, phone numbers, owner occupied only. Some may have emails, some may not, and it's $400 for 10,000 of them. It's 4 cents a number. So
And those home numbers, are those from a distressed list, like
no, they're just homeowners.
just homeowners? Okay.
Yeah, they can't, they can just tell you the age. They can't tell you if they're distressed or anything like that. It's not notice of defaults.
So then that would just be strictly a cold calling campaign.
That is correct.
You're interested in selling your house for cash. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
correct. So the deal that we have this week, it's going to, it'll end on Friday, or let's do Monday. And then we're gonna update the website. You'll get 5 AI agents, which is about $6,000 worth, for $697. Now, if you don't wanna do, we're going to be able to allow, if you wanna get one AI agent and you just wanna do cold calling, we'll be able to do one AI agent, no recurring expense for $697. One-time fee, one AI agent, you can cold call and you can have access to the system. One AI agent, $697 will be the most that you can pay, no recurring fees. And you get it set up, and you don't get a CRM, you don't get, you can't, there's a lot of limitations. You can't upload 12 different lists. You can do different campaigns, but there's a lot of limitations that you can do with it.
Oscar, Sherry's asked, can we get a distressed or a foreclosure lead list?
I can't, I don't have a source for that. I only, the reason why is that we got that source through a real estate source, because a
Yeah.
lot of real estate agents cold call homeowners.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been looking for sources.
Sherry, let's talk offline, and I'll help you with that. Oscar, you said that your guarantee was good for just the one-click ads, the Facebook ad campaign, correct?
That's the only way the guarantee works. You gotta run ads, because one is that we know that the agents are there, and it works.
So the one agent offer that you had, you said was for cold calling, not the Facebook ads agent, or is it either one? Just pick-
Well, I mean, with the Facebook ads, you're gonna need to have the recurring expense, because you gotta have the CRM, because there's a lot more mechanism. It's not just for cold calling. If you
Yeah.
just wanted to cold call, you don't need a CRM to just cold call. You just call it one time at $697, a one-time fee, and just telling this guy that I'm running a little bit late.
We're keeping you from working.
No, don't worry about it. We're good. I can tell you that we could do that in the sense of being able to help you with the situation of being able to have just a cold caller, and you just want to pay per minute and just have a cold call. Instead of having the recurring, you could just do cold calling for the one time $697 a month. If you don't want to do the full CRM. Now, I think you're in the people business, you're in the business of having a CRM, you should have it, you should run ads, you should always consistently feed it, you should always be doing it. But in the sense that we figured out a way to do that. So we wanted to give that to you guys as an offer today, because starting next week, we're gonna go to $697.
Richard asked, are you offering this to agents? I assume, Richard, are you referring to real estate agents?
Yes, but the real estate agent
Yes.
has different pricing. It's $13.50 to sign up.
Okay, I was just wondering, kind of help with promotion if I needed to.
Yeah, but that's where we're at right now with it. Okay, any other questions, guys?
Hey, I appreciate your time, Oscar. It's good to have you back. Tell Felipe,
Excellent.
sorry we missed
I'll
him.
see you guys next week.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.